Greetings and welcome to Rimworld. So it's been a few days, well, almost a week now since Alpha 8 has been released, and after my short playthrough, 7 episodes long, well, I said I was going to do a modded Let's Play, so here we are at the start of the modded Let's Play. So let's take a look at the mods that I have chosen. So first of all, let's look at this one, ETB interface. That's the one I used last time, and it's very much a almost mandatory mod, I think. It pretty much revamps the whole UI for the game. It has a whole bunch of new options which make it a lot user-friendly, I'd say. You'll see the things as I play the game. So another one, Alpha Muffalo. This adds huge alpha muffalos, so big bull-like muffalos to the game. They are very nice. Then there's more hair. Well, this pretty much explains it for itself. It adds more hairstyles. Then we have two new factions, the Jaffa Kree. For the people who have watched Stargate, they will obviously know who the Jaffa are. They are a bunch of, I don't know, how would you say it? Slaves of some evil people. Well, anyway, they'll be in the game, and they are very, very nicely modeled. And they have some custom weapons for them, which have some nice extra sound effects and all that. They are very, very fun to fight against. Then there's also Normal Viking program, which has a Viking faction to the game. And, well, I think you can pretty much imagine how these guys look. So, next up we have a stone cutting tweak mod, which adds something which is very nice. So, it's exactly as it says here. It adds some extra recipes so that you can set your bill to make until you have a certain amount of products, which is very good, because otherwise, without this, you can only set to make, for example, 20 stone blocks, and then it just makes them of whatever stone it may find. But now at least you can direct your colonists a bit to what they want to make. And there's the weapon crafting mod, which I have adapted to fit into my own mod. Yes, I did make a mod myself. Wow. I'll get to that shortly. Anyway, I adapted this. This mod originally added a a crafting bench for some primitive weapons and one for guns and all that. But the vanilla game in Alpha 8 now has its own smiting bench, which allows for primitive weapons to be made. So I am only using the crafting bench, which allows you to make guns from this mod. So I adapted it a little to fit into the mod that I made, which is, well, yeah, don't look at the name, it's just temporary. So, long story short, I'm basically terrible at coding, so modding for me is something that's quite difficult. But fortunately, Rimworld is very easy to mod. But even then, there are some hurdles which I can't yet pass, because, as I said, I'm terrible at coding. So my modding only extended to, well, editing the XML files, which you can find in the game folders. But still, I managed to do quite a bit with it. And I'll show you right now. Hopefully this works. Yes, it does. This is the text tree I will be using. So I pretty much deleted the whole technology file for the vanilla game and added my own. It might seem a bit elaborate at first, but well, there have been many iterations of this. I had to rebalance the whole thing over and over, but I think I'm at a point now where I can actually say it's playable and it's interesting. So hopefully you can read this on YouTube. I think you might need to set it on 180p for the small fonts to be readable. Anyway, I won't go very much into depth with this. I'll be explaining things as I go along while playing. But the main point is that, well, it's actually not a text tree I'd say it's very much more like a tech pyramid, meaning that you have a lot of choices in the beginning, and well, you'll still have a lot of choices in the middle, but at the end there's like all the ship components, all the ship research, that's at the apex. So you have quite a bit to research in the beginning, and I wanted to make it so that you have a lot of interesting choices. And well, how should I explain it? For me, I like games where you have certain dilemmas about your choices. And that means that there need to be a lot of meaningful choices, and that is what I try to do. So to start off with, I had to make sure that you started with enough so that you have fun, but that there's also still enough to be researched so that you have choices to make. Now there's some simple ones right here, for example tailoring and luxury carpeting. You may or may not want to research this depending on the situation you are in. They aren't critical, but they can be useful. Same thing with masonry and paving. Do you need it? Not exactly. Well, masonry does unlock stone cutting. That's actually something I forgot to add to this tech tree. Anyway, so it unlocks the stone cutting bench. So this allows you to make stones and all that. So you may or may not need this. I'll get to this into depth while I play. And there's also two main branches. There's the chemistry branch, which allows you to well, it's actually not a branch. It's a stem. It's very start. So this will allow you to do more, make more buildings that are about growing stuff. And this also goes into medical, like a hospital bed. And there's the technology. So here you have electronics. Oh, actually, I should have said there's smiting and electronics. Oh, it's actually smithing, right? Smiting is something very different. So there's smithing and electronics, which are basically the main technology, the main things where technology starts. So everything has a certain amount of logic to it, but it's, I'd say it's more of a pseudo logic. So you shouldn't look too deep into it, because Rimworld is quite a simple game really, and I could only go so far with things, but still I managed to make it somewhat logical, maybe somewhat scientific, well, just slightly maybe. So yeah, anyway, maybe you've been able to read a bit of it. I might also upload this someplace so that I can link to it in the descriptions. So take a look at the descriptions, maybe you see a link there. If not, then I guess I haven't uploaded it for some reason. You'll you'll know it anyway when you're watching this. So let's get back to the game now. So let's start a new colony with all those mods installed. Let's see, now we're going for Randy Random, because I think it's very interesting to play with that, especially for YouTube, as I said before, because you never know what's gonna happen, which makes it fun to watch. Now I'm thinking I'll go with challenge because as you have seen with the whole tech tree pyramid, it makes the game quite a bit more challenging, especially early on. So I think serious challenge may be a tad too difficult. So I'll leave it in challenge. It should still be fun enough. Let's use this planet, which is the last one that I generated. And I'll be playing on a desert biome, because I think it allows for a lot of interesting choices to be made, especially with the new tech tree, tech pyramid. Anyway, I'll be going for something with small hills. Here we go. And a growing period of April to September, which seems fine. Also, the more to the south you go, the bigger the growth pyramid goes. Growth period. Here we got February, November, and over here we got year round. So I want to take something with at least a bit challenge, so that we have a meaningful winter. So this should do. April, September, small hills, that's fine. Oh, and let's take a large map and leave it on the auto starting month, because in the game, especially now with all the mods, if you start in the winter or close to the winter, you're probably gonna be screwed, especially in these harsh biomes. So let's keep it on auto. That should start us somewhere around April or March, not sure, we'll see. Let's start here and see who we get. So, also important with the tech tree is, since it's so research based, having a good researcher from the start is gonna be very much decisive whether you can succeed or not. Because, well, yeah, obviously it allows you to research faster, which will allow you to get to the critical buildings faster, which will allow you to survive easier. So yeah, let's see what we get. So we got a researcher here, which is nice. No research for these people. This one's good at shooting though. No art, that's no problem. And no crafting. I think these people are fine. Oh, hot skinned. Doesn't like heat. Well, that'll be interesting. Very much so, since I'm playing in a desert. Let's actually see how we do. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, so here we are. So it starts off paused because of the EDB interface mod, which is very nice because that allows us to look around a bit and check our surroundings. Although I will allow them to land first. Alright. So, nice thing, they all have clothes. It's a start. Sometimes they spawn with no clothes at all. So, okay, here we go. This is quite important. So we got plasteel on this landing site. And why this is important is because the geothermal generator requires plasteel to be made now. So if you look around, for example, and you don't see any plasteel at all, you might as well just scrap going for the generator, and it'll be just some late game thing. But okay, so we got plasteel here, that's nice to know. And we start in a desert. Now in a desert, the issue is fertile ground. There's not a lot of it, although we actually have a very big patch here. Very big. So I'll probably be settling somewhere next to it, so that I can plant the first plants. Okay, I'll be settling over there. Let's see now, over here. So I do want to... yeah, there's a vent here. It's not important right now. Or actually it is, because I can get plasteel. So yeah, I'm gonna settle over here. Seems good enough. Let's start up with setting down some zones. Stockpile over here. Now I'm gonna immediately build some growing zones. Now also some things have changed. Wait, this isn't fertile, I think. This is. So let's start off with this. Now, as you can see, it should start off... no, it doesn't. Oh, right, this one starts off still as potato. So, thing is, with the changes I made, you will not be able to prepare food immediately. So you need either a nutrient dispenser or a cooking stove to make food. So that means that you're gonna have to eat some raw food early on. That means you should be planting strawberries, because you can eat these raw without without it negatively affecting your colonists. So this will be your main source of food for quite a while. Another issue is getting wood, because there's only a few cacti, and other than that there's not a lot of wood to be found. So let's also plant some oak trees. I'll plant them over here in the north. It can be fairly large. It's gonna take quite a while to grow. Here we go, oak tree. So this also, let's actually allow them to hold this first stuff. Right, and hand out the guns. You're good at shooting. You get the infield. You're decent and you suck. So okay, you get the pistol and you get the knife. Alright. Now, okay, back to the wood situation. So since there's not a lot of wood here, that means that I will be having difficulty to build wood buildings. This means that I should focus on making stone buildings, because there's quite a lot of stone everywhere. So that already brings up a first research decision, because let's see here. Okay, we don't have a research bench yet. We'll be making that shortly. So that means if I want to make some buildings, I'll be wanting to research masonry so that I can get a stone cutting table and go for some stones. This already is something that, for example, if you start in a biome with a lot of trees, you won't need to do this early on, because you can make buildings from wood. So yeah, let's see what we can do. We don't have any stones, so we very much have to use wood. Hopefully we have enough to build something. Yeah, it's still set to the slow speed, but that's so that I have time to build some things. Let's see now. Oh yeah, also something I changed. You can make normal doors or walls, but you need to do some research for the auto doors and the conduit walls. Same as there's nothing here, no power. You need to research things. So obviously, with the first research you do, where is it? Electronics is the first, well, power-oriented research. So it unlocks power conduits and conduit walls. Now, obviously, with just these, you still don't have any power, but you can start laying some foundations for your power systems and all that. And yeah, after this, you can get the photovoltaics, which allows you to make some solar panels. This will probably be, for most people, the first source of power, because it's quite easy to make. It's not that expensive, but then again, it's also not so reliable, since you have only power during the daytime. So to make effective use of these solar panels, you do need batteries, which require you to research electrochemistry, which allow you to build batteries. So there's quite a few choices, and as you can see, also basic heating and refrigeration branch out of electronics. So it's quite important for research in the harsher biomes. Anyway, let's get back to building something. I somehow have a feeling that we won't get very far on in this first episode. Let's see. I don't have a lot of wood, but I can still chop away these things. I'm actually going to chop only the ones at 100%, if there are any. I doubt it, actually. I'm gonna leave these growing for now and take a few from further away. That should give us a bit of extra wood to work with. Okay, now we need a small building where everyone can sleep. and where we will also do our first research. I don't want to build over fertile soil yet. I don't think this is fertile though. This is mud or something. Gravel. Okay, well, it's not fertile, so that's important. I also don't want to make this building too big, because I don't have a lot of wood. Like that. And I'll be putting down a research table. I'm thinking I'm gonna go with a steel one, because it's just a lot easier in this situation. Because, as I said, not a lot of wood, but I should have plenty of steel somewhere. Yes, over here. Let's go mine this out. Or at least start to mine it out. Ooh, there's actually quite a bit nearby, which is nice. Okay, I can put it on double speed now. I'm also going to plant potatoes, because I will require those as well. But not too much at this time. Yes, good, that's potatoes. Oh, and something you may have noticed, and if you didn't, now you will, is that the two, I think they're newer plants, or, well, not exactly new, special plants. The Devil Strand and the, damn, how it's called, the one with the X. The one that allows you to make some herbal medicine. They aren't in this list because I have changed it so that you can only grow them in a hydroponics basin. This kind of makes you, I don't know, makes you make some choices between where you are gonna focus on soil or hydroponics. But in the end, you're gonna need it both. So I think that makes it a little more interesting. And to make hydroponics a bit less of a hassle, I have made it so that hydroponics basins themselves don't require power. But the sun lamps obviously do. So you won't be losing all your plants. Yeah, see, I don't have a lot of wood. So you won't be losing all your plants if the power goes down. But they will simply stop growing since there's no more light. Oh, we still got plenty here. That's good. So we're gonna need some sleeping spots. So yeah, the beds, while I could, oh no, I can't build them because I need cloth. I added that in. So yeah, that reminds me, I also have to plant some cotton. Let's do that over here. Oh, and just like for the reasons that I removed some plants from the soil growing, I also removed some from hydroponics, so plants and cotton can only be grown outside, or well, in soil. You can still like grow them indoors in soil. There's all that sort of, there's all sorts of ways to do things. I also did this so that you basically have to make some choices. Which is nice. Strawberries you can plant in both hydroponics and outside. I did this because, well, strawberries are quite important. They are very much the thing that allows you to survive early on. And maybe later as well. So we still got a bunch of survival packs here. That's good. Okay, whoa, we got a lot of survival stuff here. I'll leave them out for now. They don't really need to bring them back. Also, quite a few recipes have changed, as I said before. One, for example, is that I make a lot more use of a lot of the resources in the game. So, usually in the vanilla game, most things are made out of steel or wood. And that's about it. But I now also make use of silver, which I kind of used as a replacement for copper, because this game doesn't have copper, but hell, let's use silver. So conduits and conduit walls are made out of silver now. And yeah. Okay, and there's also a lot of fabrics in this game, like, well, we got Devil Strand, we got Hyperweave and Synthread. Usually you don't really, let's actually put in some research, usually you don't use those at all for almost anything except maybe making some clothes, but who makes Hyperweave or Devil Strand clothes really? You can loot them, or by the time you can make them, you probably have found some power armor and all that, so it's kind of not used in the game. So I integrated them in some later recipes for buildings, which makes it so that you actually have to acquire those to complete the game. Anyway, let's do the first researches. So let's go at masonry. Now, you see, this is where the dilemma starts already early on, because I do want to make buildings. It's very important to make buildings, so I will need stones, but I will also need electricity, because electricity will be required for preparing food. And I will need to be able to prepare food so that I can stop living on raw berries, because raw berries aren't very nutritious, so they will spend a lot of time eating. And yeah, there's a lot of choices to be had. But I will go for masonry because I really need buildings, and there's not a lot of wood to make buildings from. So yeah, anyway, I think I'll be stopping the episode right here now. I think we've been going for about 28 minutes. So that's about quite enough. Hopefully you join me for the next episode, where we go further into what my mod pack has changed. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it, and see you next time.